Good morning. Welcome to the Spellventure live stream. We are doing some 3D game development. Oh, it's letting me know that I'm streaming. That's fantastic. Okay, let's get on some music, please. Nice. Alright, well, we're just working on Spellventure as per usual. Make sure we're streaming, we're recording. Pretty cool. It logged me out of Twitter for some reason. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. Make sure we got all our ducks in a row. Let's see what we gotta do here. Boom, boom. What are we doing? We were putting all this together yesterday. Where was my dude? Was he way up in the first area? That's cool. That's cool. Okay, I had some fog yesterday. I did my brazier. Yeah, very nice. So, we got 5 minutes on that. Oh. Boom, 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 boom. See, I'm under 5 minutes on that coffee, I think. Okay, so what were we doing? We were adding in. Oh, I wanted to check Asana. I think it's here, right? Okay, what were my tasks? What was I doing? What was the important part? You can see how busy Nicholas is going to be. That's fine, keep him busy. Castle of Light, visuals. We don't even have the first spell in yet. It might be a problem. So implement brazier system, add torch mechanic. And then have a countdown. So here's what I'm going to do. So we have a torch in the player's hand. We're going to want this. Okay. It's going to be automatic. Size 1 is going to be the torch itself. Delay for 30 seconds. And it's going to turn off, basically, is what's going to happen. So if I go in here, run through. Ooh, a berry. Strawberry, juicy ripe strawberry consumed to gain low health. into my death. Make sure we gather everything. So we have the inventory system set up. You can see the items ahead of time, which is pretty interesting, but we also have the different seeds, different shields, different like rusty pieces. We will be implementing, Nicholas will be implementing the ability to maneuver them, of course, to rearrange your inventory. I gotta change that as well. It is absolutely coffee time. In less than 20 seconds, this torch is going to go out, and the whole room is going to go dark except for this brazier. I'll be right back. Gotta get coffee. Oh right, I also forgot that yeah, that these burn out and turn to embers. You take them, but it's not working. Love that so much. Okay, so I wanted to work on. Let me see. So that is not going to work. Make sure we save. We did make a little bit of a change here. We have a torch here. I'm gonna put that on this. Okay, we're not gonna need this sun anymore. Dum, 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 dum. So we have a torch here. We're gonna go into the dungeon. Grab the torch. Put in collectibles. Okay. We're making a large room. We're going to want to make create mana berry prefabs. Basically, it's just gonna be blueberries. basically we're going to be making some alcoves here with some statues. Time would be good. Really only need that. Okay, we only need... Nice. We only need one of these just for size purposes, just for testing out how it's going to look. Cool. Let's get a cylinder in here. Let's make it 16. That's pretty good. Oops. That's pretty good. Alright. I had this idea, I dreamt it up kind of yesterday. Basically, we're going to have alcoves for the Guardians of Light, which were in this. This is the Temple of Light, the Castle of Light, Dungeon of Light. Not really sure exactly what to call it yet. Like I said, we're still getting the story together as we build this out. One thing to really hammer down about Spellventure is that is also a it really began as a sandbox to test out just all of these new mechanics. Not really new to the the industry, not new to the video game space, but just absolutely definitely new to us. And perhaps in some ways the combination of them is new, but oops. Okay, so we have that. This is only 16 tries. That's freaking fantastic. Not great difficulty. And then we're gonna grab a cube. So as we build it out, we're learning more and more, and we're adding things, we're taking things out. We've made some pretty substantial changes in the past couple of weeks, as well as additions. We've also added quite a lot. So, just keep an eye on the space. I should have kept the floor in. Should have kept the floor in. Alright, let's do this again. Alcove. Okay, we're going to this. We don't need all the superfluous stuff though. Alright, basically we're just getting rid of everything we don't need. We absolutely do not need. Okay. And we're going to focus on this right here. We're going to make that alcove here. It's going to be an alcove with statues of ancient statues of Guardians of Light, which protected this entire area. And the color scheme, I'm really digging it. I'm digging it a lot. But I want to make sure. I want to change this door too. It's not enough. It's just not. It's too stony, too just preliminary, too early. And I want to give the feeling of an ancient battle that occurred here, obviously long ago because it's ancient. But I want to make sure that it feels like the inhabitants were real people or real things. That's good. real creatures. So building it out as I go, well, Nicholas kind of works alongside me doing things like spell systems, inventory systems, really, really important stuff that basically just helps keep the game grounded. Okay, now the reason we brought the floor back in was so we can check the height, right? We want to make sure this line here, the horizontal line going left to right, we want to make sure that it lines up as well as we possibly can. Because this is what we're going to be importing. Cool. Alright, that's good. We do not want it to be going over on the ceiling. The ceiling. Okay, let's make sure. You son of a... You son of a... Okay, it looks approximate. Looks pretty... Oh, it does not. Because you might be able to see a seam or two in the engine. We want to avoid that as much as possible. Now we can carve it out, I think. And we can move this to 2. Let's move everything here to 1, just so we're on the right track. Alright, so flip directions, we can see if the faces are dark like this, then those are the backs of your polygons, and your game engine will look through them. Your game engine is looking for the front of the polygons at all times, and when it sees the front, it'll render it. When it sees the back, it'll render past it, so it'll basically be transparent. We've encountered that several times, which is what taught us how to do that. We go ahead, we're going to straighten out like this. Yeah, that ain't bad. That's not bad. Skip these. We're going to do this. Alright, and then we're going to grab all of the edges here, and we are going to pull them in via the x-axis. Hey, actually it's not really too bad. Okay. So that's pretty okay. So now you have that. Now the hard part is going to be getting these stone in here, right? The question is, do we even want stone? I'm thinking that we do. We also want a floor, so let's grab a little bit of a floor. By that I mean let's grab a cube, pull it over here, pull it down, pull these up.
You have coffee?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, babe. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Right down here. Cool. Do an X like this. So we're putting a floor in now. We'll just do everything we gotta do, man. Let's grab it like that. Cool. And then we can get rid of extraneous vertices because you will not be seeing that. So that's going to be the floor for it. Smooth it out. Make sure we apply rotation and scale. Rotation and scale. Very cool. Then we're going to grab this. So we're basically just going to apply the same material to this base as is down here. So that will be a mortar base. Go ahead and unwrap it. Just like that. Unwrap that. That's going to be dirt. Let's see how this is. Yeah, it's going to be pretty much like that. It's also going to be, I guess we can either apply mortar or dirt to it. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And then we're going to have a ceiling as well. So we're going to duplicate that. We're going to rotate 180 degrees. We're going to go ahead and bring it up here. Boom. Bing. Nice. Let's make sure. Should look nice and seamless. Very cool. Alright, so basically what we have now is we have like a little alcove, right? And what we want to do is we're going to build inside of here. We're going to make a statue inside of here. And we're going to erase everything here. We're going to make this its own Blender file. And then we just go ahead and just boop, bring that right on in. And then we can swap out whatever. Actually, I don't think that's deep enough. I think that's what I wanted right there. Yeah, a little deeper. Do the same thing to these. Boop, boop. And then we're going to want to. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is reapply the change. Go ahead and unwrap again. 0.75. 0.5. Unwrap it again. 0.5. Okay. Okay, that's good now. Room alcove. We're gonna save it, and we want it to look as pretty, as interesting as the outside here. Now we want to keep in mind. Obviously, gameplay is of utmost importance, so the number one thing that we're keeping in mind with environment art, all art, really, is to keep the CPU overhead low. So when something is running, you want to make sure that it runs smoothly, that it runs seamlessly, that it runs quickly, that it is batching as much as possible, which means that things in your environment are drawing from the same materials and the same textures as each other. All of them don't have to do that, but you want as many as possible to do that, right? While still maintaining the integrity of your scene, still maintaining the quality of your work, still maintaining the voice of the game, the narrative, etc. So, that's the hard part, right? So, and I'm not going to say I'm any good at it, but I do my best. Hey Kyle, how you doing, buddy? Getting on pretty good. We are really building it out here. We're trying to get the voice to the game. We've added inventory system, which means we've also added to it. We've added the ability to excuse me. We've added the ability for the game, the system, to ask an object that you interact with if your inventory has something, like a key, for instance. If you have a key, if you have a certain type of key, if you do to open the door, if you don't, you have to continue on through. So in the first, we've added fog, we've added all kinds of good systems too. We've added secret button systems, we have added areas, we've added healing, we've added, so basically it's asking if I have a key. I have a copper key. I do not have a copper key. I have to find a copper key. I have a mushroom. Oh, here's an inventory system. So I have a mushroom here. It's a glowing fungus. You mash it in shroom paste at an alchemy table, which is back at your house. So we haven't built that yet. It's in the planning stages, but we are implementing things out slowly, rolling it out. Oh look, copper key. So you gather a copper key. So now I have a copper key. It unlocks any bronze lock and crushing a copper powder at the alchemy table. Or you can go ahead and use it, which I'm going to do. Nice. And then you can pick up seeds. Strawberry seed, blueberry seed. And then you plant these in your garden, and you grow them into strawberries, wow. Strawberries and blueberries. And strawberries heal you, and blueberries refill your mana. We've also implemented item collection systems like barrels and crates. So we have a strawberry here. It's a juicy ripe strawberry, consumed to gain a little health. We're going to have we're going to have a separate inventory system. So we're going to have like a hotkey system where certain things will be usable. So like this strawberry, for instance, you can. We're not really sure if you're going to be able to use it right out of your inventory, or we'll likely be able to drag it to a hotbar, and then you'll be able to use it from your hotbar. Just basically just munch on it. Okay, we got some voiceovers basically helping you out and telling you what to do and giving you ideas of what the rule set is. Grab the candle. Proceed through the Dungeon of Light. So eons ago, the Dark King Garadon swept over this land. I'm not sure what we're going to call it yet. We implemented pickups. We implemented like bone pickups. Pick up bone, you can crush those into bone powder. Rusted items, you can crush them into rust powder. And all those different powders, we'll grab another key, all those different powders will be able to be reconstituted into other items. So you'll basically be able to craft certain things using these things that you find. It's been a long time since you've been on, since you've seen all the progress. We've implemented floor cave-ins, we've implemented ceiling cave-ins, so I can actually go down here. I can change the mass to these objects. These objects currently have a mass of 1 kilogram, so you'll be able to just kick them around, but I can change them to several thousand, so you won't be able to move them. We have a little alcove. Pick up some blueberry seeds, pick up some strawberries. I didn't change any of that, so those are all still the old prefabs. Those are still the old items, so they didn't. I don't think they went into my. Well, these ones did, I think. Yeah. Have not. I mean, okay. So for this area down here, we built out the tunnel system, but we haven't implemented anything into it. I will in the future, but right now I'm building out. I want to build out kind of like the entire structure, and then go back through and really polish it up, add all the traps, things like that. But what we're doing these first couple of months is we're getting the game's voice quote unquote, like the narrative. We're getting in different kind of traps, like this does damage to you. So that's poison water. We hope it gets the point across that it looks like poison water. Everybody that we had kind of play test assumed that it was poison water. Bone. You can pick out, I think I already showed this, you can pick up the bone. Nice. I added basic VO. I don't know if you can hear any of it. Let me see.
This journal is old. He must have been here a long time, trapped by something. It says here that there's something far off in the mountains to the east. I'll mark it on the map.
Alright, it'll update your map. Turn this down a little, just a hair. And I believe it puts it in your inventory. Journal. The ramblings of a dying mind. What begins coherently trails off into clearly starving gibberish. Within the pages, however, lay the directions to a hidden path in the mountains at the eastern ridge. So then picking up these items, you'll put it in here, and then you'll have a separate map screen you'll be able to open up. And one thing that we want to implement with the map, we've discussed it. We haven't implemented any of it right now, but it's still in planning stages. But the idea with the map is one thing we've always loved is the ability to put things in your own waypoints on maps. So we really want to implement that, like put just have like a bunch of little flags on your map, and then you can click on those flags, for instance, and it'll bring up like a little writing area, like a tiny little journaling area, right? Like a little note kind of, where you can kind of say like, I have a pile of stuff here, or I don't have this, this was a weird place, I don't have the spell for it yet, or there were a bunch of strange bushes here, what do they mean? And you can just have like these flags all over your map, and you just hover over them, click on them, and see what they are. to you, right? It'll be like a really heavily personalized thing. Like we've always really appreciated that in the few games that actually do it. We think it's really important. So we really want to get that implemented. So things will update on your map. Like you'll be able to pick up journals and notes and scrolls and read stuff on walls on plaques, and you'll get, it'll update your map with a new area. So that's one major contribution that we're looking to add to it. Again, yeah, it's been a while since you've been on, Kyle. So we've implemented quite a bit. I'm still thinking about ways to implement certain types of artificial intelligence into it besides traps and environment pieces, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, sure, you can absolutely ask away. Haven't put anything up there yet. Two. It's myself and my brother. So I do all of the, excuse me, coffee. I do all of the environment art and level implementation, and he helps me with things like level design. He helps me with like thinking through different puzzle elements. And he implements all of the coding. So all of the underlying systems that are here, things like this inventory, he did himself from scratch. Everything you see, like this on-off switch right here, he made so I can turn things on and off. Item object, he implemented all of this. He does all of the hardcore groundwork, and I do all of the face stuff. So everything you see is done by me, with the exception of the GUI. So Nicholas did the GUI. That's my brother. He did the graphic user interface. I made these little icons, but he put all of this stuff together. So certain things you will see, like the flame on the candle is his. He loves doing particle systems. Just use the silver key, unlock this door. But he does all the underlying code. So there's two of us.
Forces of the Dark King of Garradon.
Find a key of light in the Hall of Guardians. He helps me with refining things too. Like if something's off, or he'll do playthroughs all the time. He'll have other people do playthroughs as well. And if something's off, he'll make a bunch of lists. Like he'll list out like all the bugs he found, or graphic things that didn't sit right. Gameplay things that I'm implementing that didn't work too well. So he helps me out really greatly with that. But yeah, so to answer your question, sorry that was a long-winded answer, but to answer your question, there's just two of us. We have a fire trap. So the reason that turns that on and off is because there was a tripwire here that I grabbed, and if you cross the tripwire, it'll turn the fire trap on. So there'll be a bunch of those in here as well, various like tripwires. There's pressure plates we're going to add that enact certain traps, things like that. We're also going to add a lot more ambiance to this hallway, right? So the idea here is that there was a great war, a great battle fought. The Dark King Garradon came through the land and swept through all of the temples, just murdering everybody and locking them down. So the only thing left are basically ghosts and spirits, and just the wreckage from just centuries ago whenever he swept through. So you'll just see wreckage everywhere, right? Like bones and just ancient rusted items that I'm picking up. You'll have to go through and get to the end and grab the spells. Still trying to get this down as well as we can. It's tough to get damage done here. So we have like the ceiling cave in, the rocks stay at the bottom, but it's tough to get the damage right because we got to turn on and off like damage colliders just at the right time. So it still makes sense. So the rock's like not on the ground, it's dealing damage to you if you touch it. Grab this. Nice. Oh, had it. Beam in my way. Got it. And this is the end where I'm at right now. So you have the ability to ignite the brazier. We're still planning out a puzzle system with this brazier. I'll likely be able to get it completely in by the end of the weekend, I'm hoping. So you come to the intersection, I'll have it turn. I'll keep that there. I wanted to fill that in. I'll likely put rubble in here with a room in the back. Probably have one of the keys of light inside there. Actually, it's a good idea. I'll probably have a key of light inside there. I need 2 keys of light to open that throne door. So I'm going to close this off. There's going to be no door here. This is just going to be a solid wall. You'll turn right. You'll have to come down through this hallway. This is where the traps will really begin. Do I have a silver key? I do not. That's where the traps will really begin in there, and you'll have to circle all the way around and come back through this door. And that's where the guards were posted, right? So this is the hallway to the Guardians of Light. You'll see wreckage of the Guardians of Light. I'm actually building out these alcoves right now, which are right here. Put some statues in there. Put a statue in there, and then probably have a couple different types of statues. That way I can just kind of swap out just for the environment piece. Maybe even be able to activate the statues as well in some way. We'll see, maybe cast a spell on them or something. So then you kind of go through there. Actually, it's a good idea. That's a really great idea. That's what I'll do, as a matter of fact. So you go through there, implement a bunch of puzzles, survive the traps, go around, and then you'll go through a back entrance into this area here. It's currently black, it's nothing in there, but that's going to be the guard post. It's going to be a large room. And that's where a key of light will be. And that's where that will be. Let's check the stats in there, make sure we're good. Oh yeah, frame rate's over 80. Alright, that's fantastic. We currently have the clipping set really close to, so anything out of a certain range, the game isn't rendering them, so that saves a lot of overhead. Cool things like that. So, but that's as far as we are right now. We built out a couple extra systems as well, just for testing. But what we're doing now is we're focusing on getting we want one dungeon complete, as complete as we want to make it, because as we build it out, we have more ideas, and we're putting things in, we're refining things, we're taking things out that aren't working. So instead of kind of going as broad as we wanted right now, we're really just focusing in on the dungeon. We want to make it enjoyable, make sure that it has what we wanted to have inside of it. And then we're going to continue building out. So we have the collection system in that you saw. We're going to be able to collect things, take them back to your house. You'll be able to mash them down and get their constituent elements out of them, basically like different color powders. And then you'll be able to recombine those into an item. Potions or scrolls. The big ticket items, the critical path items, are going to be spells. So that's where you'll get a spell, and then you'll have to take it back, but you only get the spell blueprint. You'll get basically the spell book. In the same way that you saw that journal was in that little square in my inventory, you'll basically get spell books in that way. You take them back to your house. You get the elements that you need, not from the spell book, but you get the elements you need from the environment, like mushrooms, for instance. Like glowing mushrooms are going to be a big part of the light spell. So you get all those glowing mushrooms, you'll smash them down, then you'll combine all of the smashed powder, and voila, you'll have your spell. And then that spell will go into your spell inventory hotkey. And then you'll be able to use that. You'll be able to come back through. There's going to be elements in this dungeon itself that require you to have that spell, so you don't currently have them. So that is one thing that we're really pushing through. So yeah, so hopefully that answered your question in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this back on. Yeah, great to see you on here again. It's been quite a long time. I was wondering where you've been. I think I saw you might have been on playing a game. You've definitely been hosting a lot of gamers. I've noticed that. Okay, let me see here. So we're gonna get a couple of stone. This was not good. This was not good. So here's what I have to do. Open recent. Rima 1. We're gonna need both of these. I should have saved them. Damn. Alright. We're gonna do something drastic. It's, you know, there's no shame in that. It's extremely tough. I mean, there's been several times when I wanted to stop. Just because it's hard. I mean, games are extremely excruciatingly difficult. There's something that pro game developers will say, which is that games hate to be made, which is true. It's so tough to make them. You know, I mean, because you have an overarching idea, you want to get it implemented, you want to get it in, you're like, wow, this is amazing, you know, and then you'll run into just like 1,000 bugs, you know? Especially if you don't know kind of where to start or how to begin, it's extremely tough. You know, I mean, we are, what year is it? It's 2018 right now. We started really doing this in 2010, barely. Like, we made a couple of really shitty games. Pardon my French. And then, yeah, we made a couple really bad games. We stopped for a couple of years. Like, we actually didn't work on games for a couple of years. It was pretty numbing. And then we picked back up in 2013, like really hardcore. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I definitely get it. I really do. There's what I would say. I mean, this might be a bigger question to answer. Let me import these. What I would say would be to find out what you really want to do. And then, like, if you want to make games, okay, it's going to be extremely difficult. But here's the thing, is that it's going to be as difficult to make a game as it would be if you and I were talking about you wanted to be a professional violinist. So you have to discover what it is you really truly want to do. Like, what do you think about when you're not thinking about things you have to do? Like, where does your mind wander? And then you have to, and then when you kind of start gravitating towards that, then you find out how you can practice at that every single day. Because that's really all this is just, it's not just anything, but it is constant practice. Okay, I'm going to save this over the Broom Alcove. I thought I just had it here. It's extremely destructive. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I thought, there it is. Why didn't I see that? I can't tell you how many times in the past 5 years I thought that we were going to sell the game. I mean, we've been selling games. We have games. You can check them out. It's you're looking at look at the Center Steel website down beneath the video. But we have 4 professional games released. And I can't tell you how many times I thought they were going to do incredible, you know what I mean? Like, everybody thinks they're going to be the next Minecraft, or we think we're going to be the next whatever, Fallout, Call of Duty, or, the next WoW killer, but you're not. Oh, give me a sec. Okay, Beans. Take a 2-second break, I'll be right back, I promise. Alright, I am back. I apologize for that. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. That's good. I mean, it's definitely not off topic. I mean, animations are part and parcel of game dev. I mean, they're part and parcel of a lot of different industries, of course, but game development is absolutely one of them. One thing that we're not doing is animating because I don't want to spend the time to do it. At least not yet. But I have been thinking pretty heavily of putting animations in, just because I want to add more life to the game. But what program do you use? Do you use Blender? Do you use Maya? Or something else? And there's like tons of programs that do it now. From when I started, when I was a young lad. Okay, well, what do we not need? I'm gonna throw everything in. So what I need now is I need to grab have these. So these are floor rocks. I basically need to get these and take them over to there. Only a couple though. Yeah, that ain't bad. Adobe Animate. Yeah, I figured it. I should have said Adobe too. Have you used any game engines like Unity or Unreal or anything else? There's a couple other ones too. There's Game Maker Studio, but I just wouldn't recommend. Well, I would recommend those actually. Game Maker Studio is extremely simple, which is really good. Some actual professional games have come out of it. It's not hyper powerful, but it definitely gets the job done. If you are interested in it, grab these. If you're interested in like just releasing a game, making a game, and there's a lot of really good tutorials. Let me bring up a tut. Hey Ash, what you playing? I would grab the Game Maker Game Maker Studio, Unity, Unreal CryEngine. Yeah, those are all the three mains. That's good. There's a couple of paths. There's a lot of paths that you have in life, right? There's a lot of paths that you have specifically. So you're trying to animate. Maybe you want to animate. Maybe you're kind of want to go down that route, which is great. Stick with it. Keep doing it. You're going to fail. I'm just going to tell you, you're going to keep failing and failing and failing. Fail fast, fail hard, and learn from all of those failures, because that'll only make you better, okay? Every time something doesn't come out the way that you want it to come out, this is how I can't count how many times I've had something in my head that I wanted to get in a game, and I just couldn't do it. I didn't have the skill for it. You know what I mean? So it took years and years and years. I mean, like I said, we've been doing this since 2010, and I'm just now barely okay at it. And this isn't even good to me. Like, there's a lot that I want to do, but this is fine. This will do. We want to get a really good game out. So same is going to go for you. Yeah, Unreal is extremely powerful. I wouldn't recommend it. I would not recommend Unreal to a beginner. No way. We used it for a year. There were 7 of us on it, and Unreal is great if you have a strong team. And don't quote me 100%, because there are going to be indies, 1 and 2 and 3 people teams that are going to release stuff on Unreal. That's fine. That's great. That's them. But what I would say is, if you're using something and you want to like kill yourself while you're using it, and it makes you keep stopping just trying at something, get away from it. Try something else. If you try Unreal and it's great and you want to keep going and you enjoy that challenge of it, keep going. But my advice out of the gate would be, do something simple. Use something simple. Learn something simple and build on that. Unreal is incredible, and so is Unity, at building these huge, great masterpieces, right? But like, beginners don't build masterpieces. Beginners have to learn the steps of the trade. You know, like, you're not going to build a Gothic castle, a Gothic church, you know what I mean, if you're like an apprentice bricklayer. You know, like, start small. Start at like a shed. Build a shed. You know, like, build a foundation for a toilet. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? So you're animating, that's great. Keep animating. If your dream is to animate, is to make games, grab Game Maker Studio, grab Unity, Unreal will do it too. I'm sure there's tutorials, but there's tons of tutorials for something like Unity, tons for Game Maker Studio, tons for simple stuff. Just remake a game. Copy and make Super Mario Brothers. Good luck. You know, you can do it. You can absolutely do it, but it's going to be harder than you think. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to come out making World of Warcraft. You're not going to come out even making Minecraft. Minecraft is pretty complex. I mean, it's a super simple game, and one dude did it, but he built on something else, which was called Infiniminer. You know, he didn't copy it directly, but he basically copied the game design. It was already built for him, so to speak. He just made it a lot better. But the idea would be do something simple, do something small, and it's going to take time. So after a week, if something doesn't look the way it looks, or even after a month, try not to get discouraged. Drink a gallon of water, relax, breathe, leave it for a day, come back to it, right? If something isn't working, scrap that thing, try something new within that project. Just keep slowly building at it. It's going to be hard. I had the same delusions whenever I was young that I know a lot of people have, which is like you think you're going to be great right out of the gate. You're not. You're going to be horrible right out of the gate. Like I said, I'm kind of disappointed with some stuff that I'm doing here, but I know what to look for now. It only took me almost a decade to figure out. I know what to look for. I know what I got to tweak. I know what I got to get better at, and I know what I'm bad at, so I'm keeping those out. You know, I'm bad at rigging and animation, so I'm going to put as little as that in, and I'm going to put everything that I'm good at into it. So then we're going to try to find some way to make that into a decent game, and that's tough. But let me give you an example. There is a game called Gone Home. I don't know if you've heard of it, but go online, check out YouTube videos if you haven't played it yet. But Gone Home, the developers, it was a very small team, and they basically, before they made the game, there were no animations in it, there were no characters in it, it's just an environment, okay? They went into it saying, we don't have an animator, we do not have a rigger, we don't have anybody to do characters, like physical characters on the screen, so let's just forget that, let's not even try it, it's just going to be bad, and let's just use what we're good at, right? And they were good at writing, they were good at environment art, they were good at pacing, they were good at basically just game development and systems implementation. Check it out. I mean, it's a 2 or 3 hour game. It's all story based, but you actually walk through, you interact. It's a game, um, and that's just an example. There's 1,000 different ways to make a game. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to make some huge game. You don't have to make some small game. You don't have to make anything in between. You can make your own thing. You know, but you have to have the skill to do anything you want to do, and that skill is the hard part. That skill takes time, and it takes failure, and it takes heartbreak, and it takes sometimes depression, depending on what kind of person you are. I don't recommend depression to anybody, but what I'm saying is this, it's a challenge. You know, learning something from scratch on your own is a huge challenge, but for me, it's been incredibly rewarding. For everybody I know that's done it, it's been incredibly rewarding, including the people that went to school for stuff. I didn't go to school for this. I know people that have. They're amazing. They think it's rewarding too, but it's not going to be easy, you know, so I definitely feel for you. I definitely know the burden you're going through. If you ever have any questions or anything like that, or you just want to vent or anything, just come on to the stream, man. I'm right here. And I'm definitely reading what you're saying. I'm just kind of rambling on because I've been through that. Dude, I've been there. I've been there. I've laid in my bed and like wept because something wasn't, like my game was failing. You know what I mean? Like I've been there. You know, so there's a lot of people like you. There's a lot of people like you, like me. There's a lot of people like us. Us is the key word. Okay, it's 8:02. I've been here for exactly an hour. Are you still there? You still with me? You still listen to my ramblings? Because I definitely want to make sure that you're cool, that you're okay. I think I could, yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know if I could, but I'll definitely listen. But go ahead and type it out. I got about 7 more minutes left, and then I actually gotta head to work. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you got going on. There we That's what I want right there. Take these, we're gonna move them back. Move them to 2. I love my coffee downstairs. Third person game, would you be able to a little idea for the game? Wait, I don't understand the second part. You're making a third person game, but what would you like me to do? I think you had a little mistell, a little whatchamacallit there. Little whatchamacallit. I could definitely give a bunch of advice if you'd like. Definitely help you out. Also, I think you can. It's been a while since I've looked at my thing for Twitch, but do I have my email in there? Oh snap. Let me see if I have this here. My host. Let me see here. If you go on my portfolio, you're struggling working on how I want my game to be like. Oh yeah, like help you out with it. Yeah, sure. Do this. Just hit me up here. This is my pro gmail.com. I think that's it. Hit me up there, and we'll definitely we'll keep this discussion going. I check this all day, every day, so we can definitely go back and forth on there as well. And then perhaps in the future, when I have a bit more time, the near future, I'll shoot you my Skype info, and we'll be able to go back and forth on some ideas that you have, and we'll hash it out. Does that sound good? I'll definitely help you out. Yeah, of course, no problem. That is no problem. Games are super fun, and I like working with good people. Weak points, game ideas. Nah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think you think that. I think everybody's weak point is game ideas. But we'll see. We'll talk it out. We'll be able to hash it out. You know, we'll strengthen any ideas that you think you need work on. We'll try to figure it out a little bit, and we'll get you going. We'll get you working. That sound good though? Are you cool? You cool with that? Contacting me via there, and then we'll kick around some ideas. Broken Skyball coding. Yeah, sure. I do actually. It's been a long time since I've used Discord. Everybody's telling me that I need to use it for this, in particular for Spellventure stuff. But yeah, I do have a Discord. I gotta find it again. I literally have no time to do that right now. I'm just finishing this up. But I'll get it to you. Are you gonna be around? Drop back in the stream. I'm gonna be right back on tomorrow morning, basically same time. So are you gonna be around? Like, will you be able to drop in tomorrow morning? Because then I'll drop it. I'll find it tonight when I get home from work, and I'll drop it in chat for you. How's that sound? Oh, this looks fantastic. Yes! Oh man, I get so happy when stuff goes my way. But then when it doesn't, Discord is amazing. Yeah. Alright, 8:08. Alright, it is 1:05. I have to drop out. For everybody watching the YouTube video, come on and watch us on Twitch. I've been talking to AI Kyle here. We've been hashing out some cool stuff. Drop on in, and we will all discuss certain things. Alright, super cool. Delete one of the main files for Skype. Feels bad, man? Nah, you're good. You're good. That's okay. like I said though, shoot me an email. Shoot me an email just so I have your email, okay? And then I will find my Discord information, and then I will email it back to you. All right, and then we'll get on there and we'll talk. Because I know I do have it here. Let me see. Not task view. BC. Ugh. Right here. I have Discord. So I'll find it and I'll get it back to you. Cool. Cool. Is it cool? It's been really great talking to you. I'm glad to see you again, man. So I'm currently, here's what I'm doing. We're using Asana. I'm modeling this. So I'm modeling the Guardian of Light alcoves. Now I'll implement certain puzzle systems with it. But to everybody else joining in as well, alongside Kyle here, I'm implementing a 3D RPG environment-based puzzler and exploration. You take damage, you cast spells, you explore. We have an inventory system implemented. We have all kinds of cool stuff implemented. We are getting a crafting system for spells. Let me turn off the stats so you can see. We have inventory system. Let's grab some mushrooms here. It's cool. We got some mushrooms in there. You mash them into paste. Alright. And you explore. Don't mind the clipping in the distance. We're fixing all that stuff. So we got a little candle too. So yeah, so every time I see something I gotta touch it. A little strawberry. Yeah. Alright, Kyle. Alright, everybody. Everyone has dropped in. Absolutely, please follow so we can talk on here. We can all have a nice group discussion. You can follow along with Spell Venture stuff. Check our Facebook on there. All the links are down there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, a bunch of updates. We're on Vero as well. I'll get the link to that later. Blah blah blah. So, all right. Have a good day, and I will see you guys tomorrow from 7 to 8, or perhaps a little longer if you want to pick my brain, and we'll talk together just like we're talking right now. All right. See you guys.